Imagine this. You're a 30-year-old man sitting alone in a public park. You watch the birds thinking about your job, your family, and money. The stressful job you hate, the kids who you have no connection with, and the wife who is constantly stressed and alone. Thinking about whether you should spend your small paycheck on school supplies for your kids or relieving a little bit of that ever increasing debt. As you're thinking and crying on the inside, right in front of you, about 10 yards or so, you see a sewer gate on the ground start to shake a little bit. And it catches your attention, and you naturally forget about your worries for a second. And then the sewer gate busts open, and Wolfgangus, the adventurer, comes out, along with three teens covered in sweat, sewer water, and blood, with swords and makeshift clubs on their backs. They give a victory cry. Yeah! Fantastic job, boys, Wolfgangus says. This was a successful adventure. We cleared the dungeon of this town, found some ancient adventure texts, got some sweet loot, and you even got a sick scar, pointing at one of the teenagers' legs, which had a pretty nasty cut on it. They all fist bump each other, and they're smiling and laughing and hugging, and you sit there in awe. While you, a 30-year-old man, were worrying about your problems, your money, your family, your job, your kids, these kids were on an adventure, making memories that will last forever, finding amazing things to amaze them. And a tear falls from your cheek. Because you think back to when you were in high school, buying all the latest things, playing all the video games, pretending to be someone that everyone could like, and hoping that one day you'd get your 5 minutes of fame, and for one day you'd get noticed by the high school whore, or maybe even get invited to a party. How fun! You remember sacrificing all the things you liked just to fit in, which led to your friend group, and then your friend group led to your future wife, and then your wife led to your job, and your wife led to your kids, and the root of all your problems is right there. And now, as you sit back on this wooden park bench, you want to get up and you want to say something to these boys. You want to handshake them and say, "Good job, guys. You did it. You are real. You're a real person. You're not fake. You're not pretending to be someone you're not. You're real." There are no real people anymore. You know that meme about being an NPC, like, "Oh, look, he's an NPC." That's actually pretty accurate to modern high school. If you're in the education system, how many actual NPCs are in your school? People who just aimlessly go about the day, go to school, come home, eat, sit on your couch, scroll on TikTok or something stupid, then go to sleep, and they pretty much live at school, let's be honest. You know those people exist. They're literally NPCs. They're living life AFK. And, I mean, half the reason they do it is because, hey, that's what's acceptable, right? That's what you can do comfortably. But what's not comfortable is making a sword and charging into a sewer. Because all the things I said were true. That did happen. Everything that I said, that whole story I gave you, it was real. It did happen. A little exaggerated. But for the most part, it did happen. I did, invent that whole part about the 30-year-old man sitting on the bench, but I really went to the sewers with my friends. I'm 15. Well, now 16. Today's my birthday. But I really did all that. And I do stuff like that every week. All the time. I would do it more often, but I have a YouTube channel. I've got to uphold this. And think about it. How many people are not real in today's society? It's a lot. So I want to skip the BS, get to the point, and I want to tell you how you can become more like yourself and become a real person. Like Wolfgangus. Number 1, reflect. This is one of the best things you can do in the world. Sit in an empty room, or just a place with no distractions. And I repeat, no distractions. Not your phone, not a TV, nothing. Not even a book. Sit with a pen and a paper. And no phone, no music. You don't need music. You don't need computers. You don't need any of that. It's pen and paper. No typing it up either. And you want to sit there in this empty room or space with your pen and paper until you know what you want to do. You gotta really dig deep. This is something that's really valuable, and it's an investment. If you invest 3 hours of your time to sitting in a room alone with no stimulation, no distractions, nothing but a pen and paper, you will be ahead of 99% of other people, because people aren't going to do this. A lot of people aren't going to follow this step. That's why I put it first, because if you're not going to actually do this, then you might as well just leave now. Because here's the thing, if you're not willing to sit 3 hours, spend 3 hours alone, deciding what you actually want to do in life and who you actually want to be, you're not going to be able to follow this. You're not going to be able to do what I'm telling you. It doesn't matter how many other videos you watch on being yourself or being a real person. You're just not going to do it. So, do me a favor. As soon as you finish this video, go and do those 3 hours. Unless you're out, and then do them as soon as you can. But no excuses, bruv. So sit in this room and think, what do I want to do? And write down your answers. Take no action. And do this for hours, man. Days if you have to. If you're done in 45 minutes, you didn't do it right. If you're done in an hour, you didn't do it right. 2 hours, I don't know, minimum? There's no minimum. There's freaking no minimum. If you leave in 45 minutes or an hour, you're okay. You know what? Go ahead. Go ahead. Number 2, do what you want without fear of judgment. Back in 2021, I was experimenting with a new style. For all my life, I wore sweatpants, graphic t-shirts, and all that disgusting stuff. But I wanted to wear suits, and dress shirts, and suspenders, and pants, and good quality clothes. But I knew if I wore something like that to school, well, you'd get judged like crazy because everyone dresses like, yeah. So I was scared of other people's judgment who literally didn't care if I was dead. And this kept up until around 2021 when I decided to buy some khaki pants. I know, not very professional, but hey, it was a start, right? And so, bro, when I walked into school with those khaki pants, I was like so scared. My heart was beating like crazy. I felt everyone's eyes on me. I was like, oh, jeez. I wanted to throw up. I literally wanted to I wanted to run home. And I was, probably half of it was in my imagination, but like, oh my gosh, bro, I'm thinking about it. I was so stressed because I thought everyone would care if I wore like a pants with like a belt. Bro, those middle school me. Jeez. I remember wearing the pants like in my house before I brought them to school. I would like walk around just constantly looking at myself in the mirror, like, ooh, these look good. And like my mom actually had to ask. She was like, "When are you going to wear those out, bro?" But no, I was so scared of judgment. I was so scared of judgment from other people that I didn't even do what I actually really wanted to do. I really wanted to wear like real clothes like this, and I was too scared to. And so then eventually, I slowly eased my way into it. I started wearing khaki pants, and I got rid of all my sweatpants, and I started really wearing like t-shirts and like long sleeve shirts opposed to like graphic shirts and like actually good clothes. And so, the worst thing that ever happened to me at that time was some girls laughed at that, like I looked like Steve from Minecraft. Bro, I don't even know. Bro, high school is so freaking weird. Don't don't go to high school. Looking back, I would rather deal with 100 mean comments and look pretty snazzy than, be like wear freaking estrogenic plastic clothing and be really fake and not a real person. And so now I just button down, suspenders, dress pants, all that fun stuff because I don't give a frick, man. I do not give a frick. Okay, so trust me. Whether you want to dress good or try a new sport or meditate in the park while everyone else is watching at you or do something that your heart craves doing, do it with confidence. Act like this is just what you do and other people are being weird for having such a reaction. Be confident in what you do. I remember when I used to watch Rick and Morty with my brother, there was one of the characters said a line that stuck with me.
Anybody got beef with Yo-Yo? That's good. Some people think he's lame, but to me, he's lame in a cool way because he owns it. Cool. That concludes business.
And so yeah, I know it's kind of stupid, but it's something that it's true. If you do things with confidence, people will respect you more. Number 3, be inspired. Find a role model or someone who you want to be like. Ask them for advice if you can, and do what they do. Act how they do. Obviously not 100%, but if you are actually genuinely interested in this person, I guarantee you're gonna find yourself more. And so for me, I didn't do this off of anybody, but I did this off of like a show. So I grew up watching the show Adventure Time. I love that show. It's literally my favorite show. And, I wanted to live in that world so bad. I really wanted to, go on adventures and fight monsters, wield swords, save ladies, an adventure with my best bros. And so I modeled my life after that. I used it as a foundation, and then I found like what I was genuinely interested in and left the stuff that I was, not really interested. And don't be stupid with it either. Don't be like, oh, there's this one character I like, but he's actually a really, really bad person. Don't choose a character you like. Choose a person or a character who you want to become as a person. Don't say, oh, I like this villain, so I want to become this villain. Go on my villain arc, bro. Don't do that. Just use it as a foundation to be able to find yourself further. Because if you know what you like and you know what you're interested in, then all you gotta do is follow that and you'll find who you really are. Now, my final pieces of advice are this. Follow your heart. If you're like, man, I really want to pick up this stick and throw it, or man, I kind of want to jump across those rocks like I would, like if I was like 5. Like, do it, bro. That's how you get in here. Because it's just so much more respectable to be someone who, like, really is in touch with themselves, who sees something they want to do, but isn't like, oh, that's cringe, that's dumb, bro, I don't want to do that, that's so stupid. Like, you want to do it. Stop lying to yourself. Like, sometimes you just gotta realize that people are gonna look at you and say, and then move on. I really don't think, from years of following my heart and my most inner desires, I have never been like, no one has ever come up to me and be like, you're stupid, you should kill yourself. Like, what do you think's gonna happen, bro? If you like literally just like walk in like like walk down a stream or something, or like hop across rocks, or like pretend like you're a knight fighting like a tree or something with a stick, no one's gonna be like there's nothing bad's gonna come from that, I guarantee you. But here's the other thing. Do not be stupid with this. I know a lot of people might be like, oh, I want to fap 10 times a day because that's the real me. Don't be stupid with this. Or say like, I identify as a wolf. Like, your heart's not saying that. Your flesh is saying that. Your flesh tells you, oh, I want to fap 10 times a day. That doesn't mean you should do it. You gotta know what your fleshly desires and your purpose-filled desires. Like, a purpose-filled desire is to, oh, I always really wanted to create a show. I want to write and design a show. It's something that like my heart says I should do. And then like just a flesh desire is like, oh, I want to, jerk off. But that's not so good, so you shouldn't do that. Separate purpose desires from flesh desires. So yeah, don't use this as an excuse to slack off. Follow the words of God. Go to the gym, stay on self-improvement, be all that good stuff. Oh, and if you have to ask yourself, am I being true to myself? You're not. You're not gonna have to ask yourself if you're being true to yourself. You're just gonna have this feeling of just happiness. Like, yeah, this is me. And you might maybe not the first time. You might feel like, oh, it's a little cringe. Like, oh, I don't I don't want to do this because people are going to judge me. But once you actually do it for a little bit and learn, hey, this isn't that bad, and you get a feeling inside you, that's how you know, bro. That's how you know. But if you do have any more questions, or if you did this, please leave a comment. I hope this helps you. And if you followed any of the steps, especially the first one, I want to see how many real people there are out of my subscribers who did the first step. So, yeah, please comment that in below. Yeah, so follow your heart, follow God, and you'll do great. I believe in you, bro. Farewell.